Hello, 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 and welcome to another One Line of Code. I am One Lion, and we're inside of a pool house. Oh, I missed the pool. It's been a really long time since I've been to a pool. I gotta adjust my volumes and such. I used my microphone for other things this weekend. So, let me get this fixed. Do not turn your audio up. I will adjust mine. Maybe. I am looking for sound, microphone, gain, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. All right. So I think we are good. This is where I'll leave my microphone. If it gets too loud, please let me know, and I will turn it back down. Yeah, should be good. I hope it's good. All right. So, hi, welcome to One Line of Code. I am One Lion. As I said before, this is a stream where we code one line at a time. What? That doesn't work. We've been working on a project on Mondays and Wednesdays called the Financial Management Tracker, which you can find on GitHub at the link that just popped up. And let's see, what can I have open? I need stuffs open. I need this open. All right. Okay, so we've been working on redesigning the application's UI. Whoa, that was weird. Redesigning the application's UI. I'm gonna get off this screen. We're gonna go to the desktop. Because in the past we were able to complete the core functionality of the application. It works, it does the things that we told it we want it to do, and now we are just making it look good. That's what I'm trying to say. It's really hard for me to speak at the moment because I'm still caught up in my day job stuff that is still just kind of whirling through my brains, and I'm doing design work for that too, while also implementing a new feature. And we have a release coming up soon. It's supposed to be this Friday, but we have a cybersecurity review that needs to be it's initiated, but it needs to be assigned. And they usually take about 2 weeks to do that part, and then we have the discussion about it. So that should be soon, and then we'll have a new release of the app with all of the cool new features and new elements added to the UI, some warranty information being shown for users of this type of system. I need to change this text like a magic. Okay, so what we've been doing, I don't know where this accent is coming from. I apologize for anyone that it offends. It's just coming out of nowhere. Okay, where did I put my Figma? Well, I'll tell you what, I put my Figma right here. There it is. Okay. We're gonna get this done someday. So these are the, actually, let me start with this. This is the original design work that we did when we started the app we were playing the part of my usual self, a developer that's not great at UI, but is told we need this application and we want it in Heart Attack Hello Apocalypse. How are you today? I was not listening to any other loud sounds, so yeah, that one definitely made my heart just explode. But thank you for that. It was definitely appreciated. I like the adrenaline. Finally, he says, as if that's a goal. All right. Yes. Anyway, thank you so those cost you 15 bits every time you do that, and that is very much appreciated. I hope you get your money's worth. And yeah, enjoy yourself. Um Come on, brain, catch back up. Wait, I paid for it. Nice. Um yes, I appreciate your yeah. Anyway. Um so I was playing, that's what I'm saying. I was playing the role of my usual self, and the positions that I've been in. Wait, I actually have a Mario fail sound? Whoa. Anyway, thank you again for the You know, I have other sound alerts that don't cost a thing. Oh, the wah, 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 wah. There, I did it for you. I think that one is called Trumpet in the sound alerts, if it's even a sound alert that I kept. But usually it's TROMPET. Yeah, I don't think I have it. I made the one that I like hearing the most free, I think. Are you free or do you cost points? Cost 100 points. 100 paw points. But yeah, so I am not, was not, I'm gonna say that I've improved, but I was not great at, oh gosh, words. Start over. So the things that I used to do most often whenever, hello, hi, my name is One Lion. I'm now waving with my right hand. This is the look for when I don't know what I'm trying to say. The jobs that I have taken, the work that I have done, have predominantly been a situation where I need to not only pull over existing UI, but also modernize it and bring it up to date and all that. However, I made sure that my employers knew that I'm not a UI designer, so I will do my best, but it won't look great. And so that's kind of the approach that I still took when doing this Stream app project, which is I am predominantly focused, predisposed to be focused on the functionality part of the application, making it work really well, making it do what we said it's going to do, fixing any issues, adding features. I love doing that part, and I'm relatively decent at it. Relative to what? I don't know. But we did all that. So now what I want to focus on is gaining more of those design skills. So we've now fired the other guy because he did his job. And I don't want to say fired. We didn't renew the other guy's contract, and the other guy is me, of course. We didn't renew his contract, so words. And we hired another person that is skilled at UI, and so we're playing the role of that person that is skilled at UI, and we are working on redesigning the UI, giving it a facelift, keeping the functionality the same, but giving the application a modern feel, just a good look. At least I hope it's going to be a good look. So this is what we've come to so far, which is, this is our main landing page, and it's just going to have some general information up front that's catching your eye for like, man, I do want to use this app because it will help me get my finances on track, and I need help with that. And we have two kind of background styles, and I'm exploring. I don't know what this third one was. I don't remember why I made a third one. But I made a third one. And then this is what it would look like as you're scrolling down to get more content. So I wanted to make this look like here's the rest of the content on the page. I do need to put the footer down here, and I did decide that I like this footer, so I am going to use it. Where are you? Pasta, you in there? Oh, wow. This page is a lot bigger than... Oh no, everything's at scale. I don't want you to scale. Okay, you need to stick to the right and top. You need to stick to the left and top. You need to stick to the bottom and center. And I think that's everything that was in there. Cool, so I should be able to now... Oh, and you need to be constrained top, bottom, left, right. Okay. So now when we expand the footer all the way across, then it still stretches. What? Miss Scusi, why are you still scratching, dear sir or madam? Frame 1. Align to right top. Are you stretching? Wait, what? No, that was the background that I moved. Okay. So are you actually stretching? It looks like you're stretching. Why are you stretching? So we have the section as auto. No, we don't. We don't have it as auto layout, which is good though. I don't want it as auto layout, but frame 1, right and top. Yeah, it was stretching. Art thou the master of thy designs? Fate or doth lie in the hands of thy patron? It would be me as the designer. What's going on though? Why are you getting beaker? Your hug, top right. And that's the entire frame. These things are constrained to the frame itself, and the frame is auto layout to the top left anyway. So that's doing what I want it to do. You are center horizontally bottom. Yeah. So Apocalypse said, I don't know why, but I miss the old age of the internet with such a simple design very much. Like modern design needs to be that eye-catching, tasty, I don't know what to call it. It needs to be appealing. What am I doing wrong? Footer logo constrained to the top left of the group container. And when I resize the group, why are the contents stretching? Why are you stretching? What if I did center? Center, yeah, you're still doing weird stuff. Okay, I'm gonna cheat real quick. Cut this out, resize. Oh boy, do I love cheating. Move you somewhere over there. And actually, you need to stay over here. It's not a lot of content for when it's this wide. Center you here, like so. Hello, SSH 2001. I mean SSSH. What's the third S? Securely secure? Wow, what do you do when the footer is this wide? What am I making? I am making what you making? We have already made a financial management tracking application. You can see the code on my GitHub. It's open source. And we made it look like this and just pretty much worked on it to make it functional. And so what we're doing now is we are role playing essentially as a new person that was hired into this company that has this financial management tracker application that's on the interwebs, and they want to remake the UI. They want to redesign the UI. And so what we've been doing lately is a lot of UI work. Suspicious SSH. I like that 8-bar. We've been doing a lot of UI redesign work as if we know what we're doing. So I'm not great at UI design, but I do want to get better at it. So we're spending time, we're taking our time doing it too. I don't want to rush through it and just settle for this looks all right. I want it to be a really good design so I know what it feels like to create a good design. It is open source, absolutely. Yes. The designs themselves are on my private Figma. Because I mean, you know, it's just the free Figma, and I don't really know what the limitations are as far as sharing this and having other people contribute to the Figma designs. But if you do have suggestions, I am very, very much open to them during the streams. Definitely let me know, because again, not a designer. I'm primarily a work on the logic, work on the functionality of an application type of developer. Although my current, yeah, a lot of us are. And that's why I have so much respect. I already interrupted myself 16 times. That's why I have so much respect for UI designers, UI UX designers, because it's not only the taking the time for it or having the patience for it, it's also just the skill in knowing what looks good and what actually works through experience, through just innate knowing. I don't know what that is, but it looks like a company-wide meeting is about to happen. I'll make it look like I'm attending, I guess. Wait, what's on the agenda? Oh, no, I don't want to see that. I don't even want to join that. I'm so tired of those. Okay. So anyway, this is where we're at as far as our design is concerned. And me being the type of developer that I am, I needed to be able to see this in action. So I'm kind of stuck with what to do with these content sections. I like the overall design of the landing page. I'm sure we can make improvements and also come up with what to put in the graphic portion of the landing page of the hero section. And so this is when you scroll down a little bit from the hero section, starting to reveal the content, and then you'll be able to scroll through all the way to the footer. And as you can see, I just added that footer. I thought that was going to happen. Everyone needs to stay top. left, and right. U, left and right, left and right, left and right. So I'm also not very skilled. I'm getting better at it, but I'm not super skilled in Figma. But I have definitely gotten more comfortable with working in Figma. Oh, and what I think I was gonna say, one of the many things that I keep cutting myself off on is for my day job, for the actual work that I do, I'm a UI developer. And again, my preference is to write functionality and to do all of the behind the scenes. You push a button, all of this stuff happens on the server or in the background to make it do cool stuff. And you don't get to see any of the cool stuff. The only thing you see is whatever the UI developer does on their end. This one is a multi-platform application. So we have a version of the app that is the 2 flavors of Blazor, which we're going to do .NET 8. We're going to upgrade this app to .NET 8 so that we use the new template for that as well. But right now it's a .NET 7, I think it's .NET 7. Yeah, .NET 7 Blazor server app and Blazor WebAssembly app. You choose which one you want to run. I also created the Maui project for it, which allows us to target Android, iOS, Mac, Tizen, and Windows. And then I have a WPF version just to show the specific to Windows desktop application. But they're all in the same solution. And I could split them up into separate solutions if you wanted to open them individually. Where is Finding Man? But because I'm doing the UI in Blazor, it was really easy to just do all of the UI, do all of the server services and functionality, client-side services and functionality to include HTTP requests to the API backend, and have that all be pretty much self-contained, and then put whatever application on top as our presentation layer, application type. And then they all just point to the Blazor UI for the UI. Oh, cool. Yeah, so here's a quick demonstration of that, breakdown of how I architected the solution. Don't need that one open. Don't need that one open. Shared libraries. The database I usually have in a separate NuGet package because I reuse the database projects across applications. At least in my previous job I did. We had 9 or so applications that used a number of databases, and some of them were cross-pollinating. So let's say that there's one application that tracks all of the water samples and then puts that in that water database. But then they're sending those samples to another lab to have them analyzed. So they take data from that water samples and put it into the lab's database. And then the lab does their analyses and updates that information and then puts it into a costing system, as well as a here's your results, so that you can create reports off of it. So a third database. And so now you see that there are 3 applications that are related to each other and they only overlap with one database each. So the easiest way for me, since I'm using Entity Framework, was to put the databases in their own NuGet package. And then I just have each of the applications reference that NuGet package if they need that database. And yes, I do say data. Yeah, I used to be able to stream my day job until I got a new job. Oh, maybe we can do the Android version finally, because I updated everything. But anyway, I used to stream my day job, so on stream in YouTube, actually, you might be able to see some of my historical videos back before I was doing this financial management tracker. I think they're still public, but that was while I was working at the Rocky Mountain Arsenal, working on those systems that I was telling you about. And so you got to see Blazor every day in the real world being used at a company. But because I moved jobs, I'm not able to stream that work because I now work for a company called Sagetti, which any views and opinions I express on this channel are my own and not necessarily the views and opinions of Sagetti, but they are a consulting firm that live under Capgemini. And Capgemini is like 300,000 worldwide employees. Sagetti USA is 3,000-ish employees, and it's a consulting firm, which means that they allocate. That's the word I was looking for. I had to find it over there. It's like right there. Anyway, they allocate resources for clients. So they find requests for proposal companies, companies that have put out requests for proposals. They put together a proposal and bid for a contract, or maybe just find a way to partner directly with a client, but they keep the clients close to their chest. They don't talk about who they are, so I'm not allowed to say who the client is, and therefore can't even do any of the software development on stream anymore. So I decided that I still want to stream. I still want to stream Blazor, and that's how we came to let's figure out a project to work together on that is real world-ish, or do it in a real world way. And that's what the Finance Man is. Did I say it all? Did I interrupt myself too much? Anyway, thank you so much for being here. So I am also very interested in .NET MAUI, Blazor Hybrid, Razor multi-platform app, all in one. I'm starting, and your subject is also very useful in the real world. Appreciate that very, very much. So the emulator did not start. So let me go to the ADM. Make sure that we do have a device that we can use. Let's use the Pixel 5. Are you actually going to start? It would be really nice if you did. It did. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe it. If you can tell, it opened on a screen that was like 8,000 pixels tall. Not really 8,000, but you know what I mean. So we're going to try to get the app to run on this. And so I'm going to select the MAUI application. Oh, right. We were going to go over the architecture first, really fast. My projects typically start off with a base Blazor new project. So file new project, and going forward, it's going to be .NET 8 Blazor web app. Most likely with render mode auto. I haven't made too many. I think I've done one official application using .NET 8 as a new Blazor project. The rest of them were .NET, well, started with .NET Framework 4.7.2 MVC. Then I remade it in .NET Core using the new project template. Then I remade it in Blazor, starting from .NET Core 3. And then I kept upgrading to .NET 5, .NET 6, and now .NET 7 is what those apps are. And then I created one new .NET 8 project for one of those applications. So this one, you're still going to, as I mentioned before, see the .NET 7 stuff because we haven't upgraded it yet. So new .NET, let's say Blazor Wasm, .NET 7 Blazor Wasm, which gives me the server project and the client project and a shared project from the template. I use the shared project for all of my shared models that are going to be used on the front end and back end, or anywhere in the app, essentially. For enums, for the abstraction layer So all of my interfaces are in this project. And pretty much everything references this project: my server side, my client side, and my UI. Then I usually create a new UI project, which is going to be where all of the application's UI lives. And that's a Razor class library. And then I usually create the client side and server side implementations of the interfaces from my shared library. And so essentially what happens is my Blazor UI will have a reference to shared. My shared client and shared server will have a reference to shared. And then my server projects, which could be Blazor server directly or my Blazor Wasm's hosted API, will get a reference to the server, shared server project. And then my client, which is usually the Blazor Wasm client, but in this case, it's also the Maui project. And it would also be, well, I guess we wouldn't do that one. So the Maui project, because this would use the same client side logic that my Blazor WebAssembly app would. The WPF project, I was playing around a little bit with UWP because I'm wanting to try to figure out how to get this code into a HoloLens or any kind of augmented reality device through Unity, etc. And I thought one way would be to create a custom UWP project. That I didn't explore too much with it, but it's a start. All of my desktop apps are essentially just wrappers that use a Blazor web view that say load the app component from Blazor UI. So here's my Blazor web view, load app from Blazor UI. In the Maui project, you'll see the same. Blazor web view, load app from Blazor UI. In my Blazor Wasm client, we load app from Blazor UI. Actually, this is loading. Yeah, this better be app from Blazor UI. And no worries about bothering. There is no bothering. Unless you are a bot. Flexible and convenient order management panel. Where's my magic button? Abracadabra. Bye. I like magic. So anyway, I am curious to know whether our Maui project will actually run on our emulator now, which I launched, and the emulator was the Android 13 API 33. This one. So let's see if we get anything. Now, the one thing that I know isn't going to work is getting the HTTP responses, because one thing that I didn't set up for the Maui project was the tunnels, so that when you do a HTTP request from the Android app, you're actually doing a HTTP request through a tunnel to localhost port, whatever it needs to be, instead of the emulator's localhost or 0000. And I need to start the API backend. That says build succeeded, but why aren't you running? I did push the play button, right? Yeah, target framework. Net 7 Android, Windows. Yeah, it's still not running in Android. It was before, and I did have it working. Let's see if the desktop version works. Project needs to be deployed. What? What? Do you do side projects to earn money? I'm gonna say no. Okay, so define side project. I have a permanent full-time salaried position with Sagetti. I think I'll stop there. I don't make money off of the financial management tracker. I want this to be open source. On Fridays, I work a little bit on the bot remake, so I do have a bot for the stream. You can talk with him if you want. Its name is Automated Realms. I said him, it prefers it. What pronouns do you prefer? Error 500 because I didn't load a model. Might help if I loaded a model first. Refresh. Models. An Orca. Load. You want to sell your apps in future. Right now, I am extremely content being employed by companies to work on their applications. And with that in mind, all of the applications that I create for side projects, I want to be fully open source, free, available to anyone to clone, copy, make money off of themselves if it's good enough for that. More for educational purposes, I guess. So if you take a look at my GitHub, you will see that I did make a Blazor component library, for example. And this was, it's very rudimentary, although there are some pretty complex things in it, but I can't say very rudimentary. It is, it's not done well. It's not done as well as I would want it to be done because I was putting it together while I was working on those 9, 10, 11 applications that I told you from my previous job. And I didn't find an existing component library that had the customizability that I wanted. I was fighting with them all the time. And so I was like, well, I want to create one that is customizable that I can use and put it out there for other people to use if they so want to as an option. But that would be an example. Are you a principal engineer level employee? My official title is senior consultant, but yes, I am performing the duties of a senior application developer. Right now, senior UI developer. I would prefer not to talk about that part. I make less than the average in Colorado for my position. I'll say that. But it would be relative to your own area, and yeah, there's a lot of factors that go into that answer. Guy, this one. Yeah, so for me, I make enough to live off of. I make enough for my lifestyle, but that's not what drives me to accept positions or not. The thing that drives me the most is the type of work and the technologies I get to use, the level of freedom, the environment that I'll be working in, many, many, many other factors. Cost does factor in, like how much salary, but are you standing up for this video stream? I stand up all day for work. So since you're new, I'll give you the really, really quick rundown of my day. I wake up around 4:23, 4:24, go to the Keurig, start a cup of coffee, have a small breakfast shake for breakfast, and then I come downstairs and I start working. I have a screen right here that has all of my client work on it with my client laptop. And I just start working because it's really quiet and I can answer my emails without needing to worry about another email coming in while I'm answering my email. Although we do have a few contacts overseas that are on a different time zone that do send emails at that early in the morning for me. It's pretty mid-afternoon for them. But anyway, so 4:30, I do work, answer emails, have quiet time to actually think about what it is that I'm doing. And then around 7:30, I take a break to do exercise for an hour, or exercise for around 30 minutes, and then hygiene and my actual breakfast for another 30 minutes after. Come back, 8:30, do work, Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays. I start the stream at 10:30, stream for 2 hours, and then work for the rest of the day until 3:30. And then at 3:30, which sometimes becomes 4 o'clock depending on how stuck into the work I am, that's when I go upstairs and I cook or just get food with my wife. And yeah, that's about the time that I can sit down. But throughout my entire workday, I stand up. Hello, Disco. Okay, so definitely feel free to ask any more questions if you want. I'm going to continue trying to visualize the rest of the... Oh, I think I trailed off when I was talking about that. It's 11:17 p.m. in your time zone. Wow. Are you in Australia? No. You're not in India, because India is 12 and a half hours, I think. What's your UTC? Asia works. You're somewhere in Asia. Os. Yeah, 11:17 p.m. So you're exactly 12 hours from my time zone. And I'm pretty sure that the overseas contacts we have in India are 12 and a half hours. So I don't know if it's 12 and a half everywhere in India, IST, or if, yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about time. I'm terrible with time zones. My astigmatism prevents me from reading too many ones in a row. My anxiety plus some type of dyslexia plus something plus my my introverted intuition plus just being lazy prevents me from being able to read accurately. That's what I'm trying to say. So anyway, I have static images of a lot of the design is what I was trying to get at, and I wanted to see this effect. So we started sketching this out in CodePen. And I put it in CodePen so that it could be shared. You could fork this if you wanted and make improved design things. And I think they have a concept of merging or something. but here is the link if you're interested in seeing the work that we've done on this so far. I can already see some things that are awkward, like just how close the title can get. And what I think we need to do for that is when the screen is probably around here. So, oh, that's the, oh, wait. It is there. Nice. Actually, no, what I want to do is find the actual breakpoints that I should actually be using, actually. Horizontal breakpoints, that is. So right now, maybe this would make sense for me to tell this thing to be 100% width with the padding on either side at around this size. But is that really what I should be using as my breakpoint? I don't think so. I think that there is an official breakpoint that I should be using, like 760, for example. And then the other thing that I could do to alleviate this closeness is to find wherever this is. So this would be app header, display flex, and give it a gap. 2ch at minimum. Although if I give it a gap of 2ch, but I tell it to do justify content space between, and I allow it to grow wider, right, and the issue is this max width here. So I put that in a variable. Wait, why aren't you getting wider? So the question is, the financial management repo is your main project in GitHub? I mean, for the stream, yes. I don't really use that repo for too much else, I guess. I did a lot of testing and playing around with stuff, and I throw it in the repo. In a repo, I should say. But that's about it. I don't have any official projects that are out there for people to start using, other than maybe the component library, which I really would love to spend time on improving and making it an official thing. This is my favorite part of it, which is this drag and drop system. Component, I don't know what to call it, because it works really smoothly. It's nice and clean. I don't know that I can say that it's easy to use within your own app, though. Don't I have a version of this that gives code sample? Yes, I do. Okay, so here's one version of it. I have a simple reorderable, and that's you pick it up, drag it around. Oh, I probably should give these numbers so that you can tell that you're actually moving it around. Otter cat. And then you have the complex object version of it, where you're moving around objects instead of just strings. And then the version that is like live or grouping and all of that stuff. You can nest groups together. Let's take this group here and put it with this one here, and yeah, all of that stuff. So you can see that the markup for this one is pretty straightforward, but the actual setup for it could get kind of complicated. It's not the easiest to set up which items you want in here and how they're grouped together. So yeah, anyway, refining that. Anyway, hi Dragon Spirit Games. Shout out to Dragon Spirit Games. So I am often lurking on your channel, but very, very quietly. I hope you've been well. Hope you are doing absolutely amazing on this beautiful day. So if you don't know Dragon Spirit Games, he works on a game called Gaia, which is named after his daughter, but is also themed around the Greek goddess Gaia and Greek mythology in general. So it's really cool to watch. It's a pixel art type game, side scroller, puzzle platformer, and it looks awesome. He hasn't streamed for 2 weeks because of pneumonia. No, but he will be back streaming tonight, so that's good news. I will be excited to see where you are with the game. In fact, do you have any clips yet? Dragon Spirit Games. Here's a clip of him playing another game on... Are these your Friday streams?
Maybe some slow banana still.
Some slow bananas? Is that what you said?
But then some pea shooters. Those are not so expensive, so I can have a little bit more of them. God, my nose. So sorry, guys. If there's anything that can be annoying for you guys, it must be that.
Yeah, so he does indie appreciation streams where he shows off other people's games on his channel, which is so awesome of him to do. Yeah, anyway, check him out if you have the availability to. And if you want to post any links to anything at all, feel free to. You know, you can self-promote on this channel. I highly encourage it. So SSH asked, do you use .NET MAUI Blazor Hybrid, Razor multi-platform tools for your day job? Our day job, since it is targeting specifically Windows, we use WPF, and that way it's a lot easier to just integrate with Windows. We also ship through the Windows Store, and so it's a lot easier to go from a WPF app to the UWP format that they expect. And we would use UWP, but there are a lot of difficulties with it. We use very low level system code since we are dealing with hardware in our application. I can say that the type of application that I work in for my day job is a diagnostics application where we diagnose hardware issues by allowing the user to run tests. Is UWP out of support? It's weird because like Windows Store apps need to be UWP. WinUI 3 is definitely the thing that we should be targeting. I don't know how it's all interconnected. I'm not gonna try to act like I know what it all means. But all that I know is that when we publish our application, we have to do some kind of transform thing so that it's packaged like a UWP application, and we generate an APPX, and then that's what gets distributed via the Windows Store. Again, I work on the primary functionality of it. Not even that, I work on only the UI of it, the UI aspects, which include using APIs to get stuff like you log in, or you open this app, and then the first thing it does is it checks to see if you have internet connection. After discovering what your system is, goes out to the main site and says, do we have an image for this brand, for this product? If so, download the image, cache it on the machine, and then it will display in the system information bar. I'm looking over at it so that I can describe this correctly. Interfaces are about API. You must know the logics. So, gosh, how do I describe this without saying too much? There are two major aspects of the application. Since it's a desktop application, we don't really have the concept of a server side or a back end, but this would be considered the back end if you're looking at the architecture. And the back end is the part that has all of our logic for discovering what devices are on your system, how to run diagnostics tests on them. So, for example, let's say we discovered that you have a M2 hard drive and an external USB connected hard drive, SSD, let's say. Our app only cares about the internals. So we don't care about peripherals yet. That's going to come in the next update, actually. That's what I've been working on. So we don't care about peripherals. We don't care about monitors or docks or printers or anything like that. What is internal to your system? The RAM, the CPU, integrated graphics card, a PCIe graphics card, M2 drives that are inside, spinny disk drives, SSDs, sound card, all of those types of things. You know what I'm talking about. So anyway, we discover those. We provide you with things to use to test those devices to diagnose any issues you might be having. For example, you're trying to figure out whether it's your video card or your monitor that's causing an issue. We will give you a GPU stress test, what is the name of this one? The one that I can never remember the name of. GPU. Video memory test. That one is very important. So a video memory test that makes sure that the memory locations in your video card are all functioning the way they should. Video palette check, which is just putting colors on your screen for you at full screen and says, are all of the pixels red? Are all of the pixels green? Are all of the pixels blue? Are all of the pixels white? Are all of them black? So those kinds of things. Yeah, hardware unit testers specifically. And then if a test fails, or I guess we do have keyboard and mouse tests, provided they are from the OEM, the keyboard and mouse. But oh yeah, network cards. Anyway, so the point is that they are available for users to launch. And what was your question? Hardware unit tester. Oh yeah. If they fail, then you get a screen that says, here's the test that ran, here's the status, which is failed currently, and a question if this test was helpful to you or not, so we can get feedback. So anyway, you click on the failure and it'll bring up a troubleshooter that has, here are some recommended steps to try these, here's some resources from the manufacturer's website, try those. And the next question will be, did those fix your issue? Whichever issue you're having or whatever caused this thing to fail. Yes, no. If no, we have a nice little lookup that says, is this a warrantable failure? That means that the user is able to call into support and get help with this. Or is this not a warrantable failure, in which case they will be directed to more troubleshooting on the main support website. Wow, I got really close multiple times to saying the client's name, and it's like not easy, you know? Just say the word manufacturer. And so this is specific to Windows, and you're saying we should make one for mobile devices, they are very much interested in pursuing an ARM 64 compatible version of the app. Because as an OEM that also manufactures mobile devices, they want to be able to support those mobile devices with the same diagnostics suite, essentially. And to toot my own horn, to be full of myself, because I need to practice doing that once in a while, the app had a rating on the Windows Store of 2.8 when I joined the team. And again, my goal was to take this application that looked like it was made in the 1990s, late 1990s, early 2000s, and bring the UI to a modern look and feel. Since then, which again, there were also a whole bunch of tests that were improved, and the back end was improved a lot. But when the UI was updated, we went from a Windows Store rating of whatever I said, 2.8 to 4.1. And so I'm really, really happy about that. And it's definitely not only the work that I did on the UI, but also, and I wasn't even the one that designed the UI, the initial UI. I just implemented the UI that was created by someone else at one size. So pretty much the only UI screenshots that I got were the main page and then a few of the tabs at this size, a fixed size. No idea what it should have looked like when the window was made smaller, how to move things around, how to implement things, etc. And then they're like, we also want a commercial skin. So if you're running the app as a tech service person or inside of it's a commercial machine. So let's say you're the US government and you bought 10,000 commercial machines from them. They still want a hardware diagnostics app that runs on those commercial machines. So I needed to come up with a full UI design and implement it for that skin for the same tests. So that part I can say that I designed and did myself. I did not enjoy it. So anyway, that's the extent of the pat on my back that I'm going to give myself. I don't feel comfortable doing that, but I need to do that once in a while because it was a lot of work. And as the order of occurrences were started with this low Windows Store rating, I implemented new UI, and now we have this new Windows rating. And I'm also adding features too. So many good features. One of the planned features is to add an LLM with RAG, so that instead of needing to contact support, you would have on your local machine, especially for the machines that have an NPU, an LLM that runs, that has the documentation, and it can get it from online if you want it to be connected online, or you can cache it or download it locally. But you have an LLM that you can talk with and help troubleshoot whatever your issue is. That would be so much fun. And they're wanting to do that soon. And I might miss out on that. I'm really sad about that part because it sounds like a lot of fun. Anyway. So there. I don't know what else to say. I think what I need to do with this footer is actually center it. Perfect. List it. Main info. Anyway, any more questions? Oh, I guess there are more questions. We should also make one for mobile, but Windows has its own useless, sometimes works troubleshooter. Yeah, the main selling point of this app is that it is native to the device, or not native, proprietary to the device. So it is intended to be used with this manufacturer's computers. Maybe I can... Hungry. You know what? You're not going to be auto layout anymore. I want to use auto layout more often, but it's so much easier to just say, I want this thing to hug the contents, and I want it, oh, it's another auto layout. I want it to be right, aligned to its container. Have this thing be left, aligned to its container. And that way when I grow and shrink, and they split the difference. Do I stream every day? I stream on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, subject to change soon. And on Mondays and Wednesdays, I work on this project. And right now, again, it's been the redesign stuff. And on Fridays, we work on the bot that I have. Oh, yeah, which we can now say hi to because it should be loaded. Automated realms. Good afternoon, or afternoon-ish. Mostly afternoon for our time zone. Introduce yourself and also let us know what your preferred pronoun. That's a lot of R's in that word. Pronoun is. Pronouns are. Pronouns are. This first response might take a minute because it needs to get loaded. But from here on, it should be at about, oh, I forget, 40 to 50 tokens per second with its responses. So it should be a lot faster. But anyway, bot says, hello, I'm Automated Realms, a helpful AI designed to assist and entertain the viewers of this stream. I prefer the pronouns they, them. Do you? Dragon Spirit Game says, hi there, Automated Realms. Did you actually say hi to Automated Realms? I don't think you did. I don't know where I got that from. So it's spoofing a message from Dragon Spirit Games already. And then it says, hi there, Automated Realms. It's greeting itself back from Dragon Spirit's point of view. I'm Dragon Spirit Games, a game developer and streamer. I usually stream on Mondays, but I'm currently taking a break due to health issues. That's not a lie, though. Although you are starting your streams again tonight, and then it greeted you back. Hi, Dragon Spirit Games. It's a pleasure to meet you. Take care of your health, and we'll see you back on stream soon. And then it's, oh my gosh, I appreciate the support. Well, oh my gosh. Anyway, that's the bot for you. So I feel violated. Automated Realms, clear history. Let's start over. So feel free to talk to Automated Realms. My disclaimer is that it is an LLM, open source LLM. I'm using the model from the bloke off of Hugging Face. It's a Mistral 7 billion parameter model called OpenOrca, the GPTQ version. And I have it running locally, so it will hallucinate, it will make stuff up. Don't believe a word it says unless you feel like it, but just know that it's most likely making everything that it says up. It's just here to have fun. I will, if you actually did get offended by that Dragon Spirit Games, you know that I'll be happy to delete the messages and never use the bot again. Because I don't want to violate anyone's anything ever. mostly. Okay, where were we? What were we doing? Did I fix this now then? I want to make this left and right and top for the main info. I want you to be just right and top. I want you to be just left and top. And so now when I resize, I hope this thing. Oh my gosh, why are you still stretching? I don't get it. I don't get it one bit. Right and top, left and top. And the contents in here are scaling when they get stretched. I don't get it. Wakarimasen. I can only do Mondays, unfortunately, so I try to make them worth it. But I mean, at least it didn't misrepresent you. I'm kind of happy about that. So currently I only stream on Mondays, but haven't been streaming because of health issues. It didn't say that you will be back to streaming today, but we know that because you told us. So I guess it's kind of another shout out. Maybe. Where are we? We're in Canada. No, we're not. You know who is in Canada? Our good friend, another shout out, Solo Solipsist. If you've ever been interested in knowing what it's like to create a multi-platform mixed reality application, definitely check out Solo Solipsist. He works on many mixed reality devices, from pure VR to pure AR to the stuff in between. So lately he's been working with an Aliens vs. Predator, AVP, which most of you know as Apple Vision Pro, but I mean, that's what I know AVP as. So he's been learning a lot about that, figuring out what its limitations are, how he can use it for the product that he's been working on, which is pretty much a virtual workspace. It's a simple way of making a digital twin, I think is his main goal, of a workspace, of an area, and having it be available across platforms. So if one person could be on a Quest, one person could be on a desktop, another person could be in the HoloLens, another one could be in the Apple Vision. Yeah, so that's his goal. I love watching this technology at work or at play. Yeah, so I can highly recommend. All right. So, all of you designers out there, Dragon Spirit Games, you who have been needing to make your own UI for your game, all the graphics and such, any recommendations for how I should split up these sections? No, I am not calling anyone out specifically. You do not have to answer, Dragon Spirit. If you feel like heading off to lurk, please feel free. But if you're sticking around, please feel free. But anyway, it's good, especially if it makes people follow me. Yeah. Good job, Automated Realms. Thanks for helping out a good friend. I was about to call you a co-streamer. Yeah, right now you can see what's happening to the background, which is absolutely nothing. It sits in place because I told it to. But what we're going to do is we're going to do the animation needed for, as you scroll down, the background is going to parallax, move up. So it's going to move up in a parallaxed way, while the header content will shrink So instead of this part scrolling up, it's just going to shrink for a bit until it gets to a minimum height. And then from that minimum height, it is going to start disappearing into the header. Or behind the header. All right. That'll be good. I'll start lurking so that it is up. We'll most likely raid you after the stream, since you haven't been on for a while. And Big Gamey is also starting. Awesome. He started early today. So cool. Big Gamey. If you guys don't know Big Gamey, he's another great game streamer, game developer streamer. Oh yeah, right. He's streaming the Eclipse. Shout out to Bit Gamey. He works on a game on his stream on Mondays and Wednesdays called Homeward Hound, where you play as a dog and you're trying to make your way back home because you got separated from your home. And on Fridays, he works on a distracted stream on a side project called About Zombies. I don't even know if it has a name yet, but it's about zombies. Zombie. So anyway, check him out. He's also a great human and has fantastic interactions on his stream. So yeah. As I said, right now, I believe he is filming the Eclipse. Aw. And then he just kind of got disconnected, maybe. And it looks like he's not having the greatest internet connection. Okay, but what are we doing? We're I'm trying to figure out what to do with this. Dagnabbit. We have the content on here. I just wanted to get rid of the too close togetherness here, so I gave it a gap. We'll definitely work on our breakpoints for this. But for now, let's keep it at this size. And let's start doing the clipped. Yeah, how am I going to do that? The way that we're going to do this is we have app, which I've styled as a grid. Where is it? Position fixed, inset 0, which means that the app component is going to be the one that takes up the entire screen that we style everything off of. I'm doing it this way because the way that Blazor applications work is that I don't really have access to the body element as I'm trying to style things in a isolated CSS kind of way. So in order to apply things like dark mode, I want to be able to use an element that I have access to from my main layout. Although, yeah, I don't know. I still don't know how I'm going to structure that fully yet. That could still be on body in my global app styles. But I do find myself needing to find out whether we are in light mode or dark mode from CSS, from isolated CSS. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. So anyway, you can see that I have a grid, and the grid is 2 rows, templated rows, a header and main, and I am making them templated. I don't know why, because we only have 2 sections. We'll find out why. So inside of that, we also have this parallax background. So pretty much everything lives inside of this app element. So I could nest everything in order to be more correct, I guess. And I'll leave the media query outside since that has body. So you can see that that didn't break everything because everything lives inside of app. And this is probably going to be a bad habit that I am developing starting with the new Blazor web app Blazor web app templates in .NET 8, because what happened with Blazor WebAssembly is that you get an app element, and then when the WebAssembly kicks in, is loaded, it replaces the content inside of the app element with your Blazor UI. That doesn't happen anymore in Blazor Web App, because even your starting page, it's no longer index.html, it's app.razor. And so your overall HTML head, meta tags, imported CSS, imported scripts, whatever, body, and then this is where everything renders. That's a Razor file. So no need for the app container anymore at that point in time. But I still add an app container to main layout.razor, which is probably going to be a bad idea, or a bad habit. Not bad idea. It's still a good idea, just a bad habit. Leftover habit. Maybe I'll fix it one day. Anyway, moving on. So since our app is position fixed and display grid, I have the header taking up however much space it takes up, which is auto, and then the rest of the content taking up one free space. And the reason that I do that is because I want the main, as I scroll, to look like it's disappearing behind the header. Right now, the header has a transparent background. So if I made it to where header is positioned sticky, for example, and main just had a top padding, which is the typical approach. So instead of using these two, I could do something like overflow auto, which should give me my scroll bars back. Oh my gosh, I do that every time. Overflow auto should give me my scroll bar back. And so you can see that the scroll bar is all the way at the top, and then I have the header already styled as position sticky, top 0, but you can see the content as it passes through the header. So what I would really want is it's a trade-off. I want this scroll bar to be for the entire page, but only move the main content, so that when the main content gets to here, it starts disappearing into the ether. But I do not know how to do that without having it be in its own container and like this. But then that moves the scroll bar to only the main content, which this isn't going to be the scroll bar on the main page anyway, but I still am not the happiest with it. Do you know what they say? No, neither do I. Okay. So here is what I want to accomplish currently. I want our main hero section to have a max height let's say, just to see what it looks like. Oh man, yeah, that's what it's going to be. I think we need it to be height of clamp. And I think clamp does work in the min height, preferred height, max height. I could look it up. So min height is going to be something like 30 characters. Preferred height is going to be 100 VH. Calc 100 VH minus our app header height. And our app header height is going to be a fixed height, which I did here. And the problem will be if we add any kind of border that will offset the height by that border amount, but we're not using a border, so it should be fine. I already lost where we were. Hello? Oh, this thing should take us right to it. Thank you. Bar. And then our max height will be 300 characters. Let's just see what that does. Nothing, because syntax. I'm missing a parent. Or bracket for those of you in Europe. Okay. So right now we are at max height of 100 VH minus header size. And then min height of 30. Oh, maybe I should put an outline on this so we can at least see what it's taking up. I'm using outline because it doesn't affect the overall height of the content. But if I said that we are using box sizing, border box, then it doesn't matter if I add an outline or a border, because what it'll do is it'll shrink the contents as opposed to expand the or build outside of the bounding box. I think that's the right one. Box sizing. Yes. Can't believe it. Okay, so we're gonna add a border so that we can actually see it. Sometimes what happens when you use an outline is it'll go outside of the bounds of your display, so we wouldn't see the top. Actually, we probably wouldn't see any of it, of the outline, because it would be completely outside of our viewport. Okay, so we can now see the bounding box. Which kind of looks like it's going outside of our viewport. So our hero section, we want to be no bigger than 100, or we want it to be preferred size of 100 viewport height minus the header size. So that means that it should take up the remaining space, or 100%. Can we just use 100%? Because the grid, the grid should be taking up one free space of the viewport height. But 100% would be 100% of its container. And the container is main, which goes all the way down to the footer. So why didn't the 100 VH work? Let's just make sure that this is the right syntax then. Section, hero section, styles. Yeah, so it's not an invalid syntax. Otherwise it would have had a line through it and information about what was wrong about it. So now the next question is, did I do it in the right order? Min preferred max, or is it preferred min max? Somebody tell me the order. Times the middle value within a range. Takes a minimum, preferred, max. I think it's in that area. I use AI tools to code. Is that okay at workplace? It depends. So that depends on your company and how much of it you're using and whether or not you're using like a hosted LLM or a hosted model somewhere else that someone else controls, because you don't, a lot of companies don't want to allow their, it's called IPs to get leaked. So for example, the project that I'm working on, they wouldn't want any of the source code leaked anywhere, so we're not allowed to use ChatGPT to copy and paste code into, or anything else. I can't think of stuff off the top of my head. I'm terrible at this. But anything else, like Copilot, for example, we have a locally hosted Copilot model on their servers for the client, and we're allowed to use that. It was still, the base model is still trained on all of GitHub, but anything that we use in our enterprise GitHub, it trains on that, but is still limited to only, how do I put that? We aren't using the public Copilot. We're using our own specialized Copilot kind of thing. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. Anyway, thank you so much for the follows in Brazil. Yeah, it definitely depends on the company itself. I don't code at my workplace. I'm in design and planning. Awesome. Hardware company team lead. Very cool. And when you say hardware company, you mean like an OEM? Someone that manufactures hardware? Is I also work hardware OEM. O and M as in operations and maintenance, or OEM, original equipment manufacturer? Okay, the latter. Wait, O and M, operations and maintenance. Yeah, this is very... Minimum 100 pixels, maximum 900 pixels, preferred 30% divided by 2 plus 10 pixels. But yeah, here it is. Minimum value, maximum, where val is the preferred value. And that's what we have. a minimum of 30 characters, a maximum of 300 characters, and a preferred of 100 viewport height minus 3.3 rems. So, with that in mind, why is it flowing so far outside of the viewport? Is it because the viewport probably includes this bottom? No, it shouldn't. Maybe it's a code pen thing. No, it's still, yeah, look at how much space it's off by. Why is that? Oops. $778.18. Oh, padding. Really? The padding is factoring in to change its height? So I also need to subtract the padding? That doesn't make sense. So I also need to subtract 4 rems of padding, which is this times 2. Yeah, there it is. And then minus. Yeah, and again, it's like now I need to subtract the 2 pixels of border, even though I told it that the box sizing is based on the border. What's the alternative to border? Box sizing. We got border box and we got just border box. Star. So I'm doing it on body, but I'm not doing it on the element that matters, is what's happening. Okay, so let's try this again. Instead of you being on body, we're gonna put you specifically on section. And we'll do all sections at that. Hello, TBD Gamer. You do not have anything to apologize for. Not at all. UI is also very time consuming, hard and boring. I don't find it to be boring, surprisingly. I kind of enjoy it, even though I really, really suck at it. But there are times when stuff comes together and it's like, oh, hey, that was kind of fun. But for the most part, I don't enjoy it. So there's that. Let's see, let's just do 2 rem all around. What does that do? Give me some padding on the edges, thank you. Yeah, the reason that I didn't want left and right padding is because I'm intending for the sections to have a max, or to have a width of the same width as the application width. So what is this called? What is this variable? Main content max width. Would be you. Oh dear. Wait a minute. Why is main content max width? Because, yeah, why is main con? Oh, because that is max width. Oh, jeez. Yeah, so the width of main content needs to be at least at the big screen. The largest, whitest screen needs to be var 100 VW minus, and let's just put a 10 character gap on the left and right side of it. But this also means that we would want a min width, not var, calc, that we would want a min width on here, and then a margin 0 auto. Oh, that's why I didn't do this. Okay, so the reason that I didn't actually do this is because I hadn't decided yet on what to do with the background for the sections. So let's do section just to have the example of what I'm talking about. So our section would be, let's do nth child, even. And we'll do background color blue, just so we can see it happening. And then nth child odd. Background color. I don't want to do green. I want to do teal. I like teal. Oh, and not. And not hero section. Okay, so every section that is not the hero section will get the alternating background colors. And there's an issue. So the sections have a gap because of the way that I did that. I don't like that. Wait, why is there a gap? That looks like a margin. Huh? Sumimasen. TBD Gamer said, when a UI comes together and works, it's rewarding. I'm just terrible at the design and never pleased with my own efforts. I'm feeling somewhat happy. Can I say that? I'm feeling somewhat okay with this design. But yeah, so this is where I don't want the main to have the max width. First of all, the scroll bar is attached to main. Second, man, I really want the scroll bar to be on the full page itself. But second, the background, I want to go all the way across all the time. Even if the content is getting squished to the middle max width. So that's where that needs to get moved to here, to a section. But even then, the background is getting stuck to the edges of the max width. And I still have no idea where this flipping gap is coming from. Hello? Main, you are not display flex, therefore you don't have a gap in between elements. And it doesn't look like this has a margin top for the view transaction section. Does track transaction have a margin bottom? There is no margin bottom for this transaction section. I mean, for this section. Whoa! We can use UI UX templates from other people's projects or standard templates. Title, top banner, header, top menu, side menu, body, some data fields, responsive FAQ section, context, etc. These are things that are always needed. Copy paste code from other people, reuse them. True. I could do that, and we are definitely not doing this on our own. We're using inspiration from the way that Bootstrap makes their components. We've used Dribbble to find some UI designs that were appealing and kind of basing this off of that. So our main inspiration, the one that we went with the most inspiration from, was this one from Dribbble. And you can definitely see the diagonal gradient lines going across. So that's where that came from. I added this kind of pop out shape, peek out shape. I don't know what to call it. Some kind of shape in there. But I also have these other two. And again, inspired by. The problem that I'm running into with a lot of these is that they mostly only show a splash screen or a splash page, and then not really what it looks like as you scroll down, at least not from free Dribbble. And we could go further and start doing more research on what do other people use that are proven to be aesthetically pleasing, usable, etc. But again, if my goal really is to try to improve my UI design skills, then I also want to try my hand at coming up with designs without the external inspiration. I don't know what else to call it. But I'm always going to be inspired by something I've seen before because I can't come up with something off the top of my own head. Not that I'm aware of, at least. Yeah, so I really, really like the main thing that I've been attracted to with a lot of these is when you land on the page, the hero section doesn't have a clear divider between the header and the main hero content. The hero content takes up the entire page. And then when you start scrolling down, so do you have extra screens? Do you have more screens of what the rest of the content looks like? Then you get these dividers of the full page width colors. And that's how the stuff is divided. No hard borders, just a color change, a slight color change. And I like that a lot. But the question is, how do you go from this main hero section to scrolling down into the problem solution sections? Oh, and I like how they put their links in the center here too. I'm going to go ahead and grab this as an inspiration as well. because now that I saw that, it is an inspiration that we will most likely go with. Anonsa, not the link, the image. There is an easier way to make a note now in Figma. What is it? I forgot. They made it easier to do sticky notes in Figma. Maybe it's only in dev mode. Because there's a difference between making a comment and then adding a note essentially that appears inside of the content. Gosh, but I can't remember what it was. Did I go ahead and make my own sticky note? I did. We're gonna use this one because I like this one better. Actually, no, that's actually a UI element. Go with this one. Centered nav links. This one. Links. Okay, so let's see what this looks like with centered nav links. Nav should be a component somewhere. No way. I looked at the clock and it was 11:30 and it's already that time. Take me to main. Yeah, there they are. So in order to make that work, we need a new the thing. And to do that, I am going to group these, move them outside of the additional links, make the header content. Oh, I don't want to do it that way. I want to center this thing and tell it to be center, so that when I resize the overall element, this thing stays in the center. Oh, I do have a components page. That's what happened. And now I want to apply this to all of them, which is kind of annoying to do. I'm going to paste to replace. Oh, that actually worked. Paste to replace, and we just make sure that U stayed center. Up one level. I think that might have worked. That's nice. All right then, back to the usage. And so that looks like this. I don't love it. The end. I just don't love it. Not the happiest with that. I liked it the other one better. Why does it look so good in this image? Is it the font sizing, maybe? Maybe it's the font sizing. Yes, it's that time. Oh, I'll end up. I'll finish because I do need to get back to work and finish this one last piece of UI design for the feature that I've been working on, and hopefully that means that my feature will be completely done when I put it in the classic view. I would need to select all of the text is individually and say 14, let's say. I said 14. Is this one that I'm... No, that's not the one that I'm using though. Cash your eyes. I need to name this thing 14. Okay, how about now? Nope. Cash me outside. Maybe it's a little better. Yeah, I still don't like it. Not very much. So I'm gonna undo. Okay. Anyway, so that is it for the stream for today. I apologize for just trailing off there at the end. This is the screen. I will be back again on Wednesday for another one of these design streams where hopefully we will have the remainder of the sketch done for the hero section and what it looks like as we scroll down into the rest of the sections. Yeah, that's that. You're welcome, Disco and TBD Gamer, and thank you so much for being here, SSSH. Feel free to stop by again if you feel like it. You are definitely welcome here. If you're interested, we also have a Discord that is very newbie friendly. We have a lot of amazing people on there that answer questions and just hang out. It's a really quiet Discord. If you're already a part of way too many Discords, don't worry about it. There's nothing super duper exciting happening there. We do have quite a few resources that we post on occasion that are helpful for people that use Blazor. We have all sorts of programming related questions in there, technology questions. If you want a place where you can rant, there's a rant room, and you don't have to worry about people being like, well, I have it worse than you, or somebody else has it worse than you. No, it's just a place where you are free to just say, man, this situation was really annoying, and rant about it, and that's that. Leave it at that. At least that's the intention for the room. We also have just a place where if you want to ask questions, you can ask questions, or if you want to offer help to other people that ask questions, we have a lot of those. Or if you want to share pictures of food, or if you want to share pictures of your pets, all of those. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. I'm done. Let's start this thing up. Here it goes. It's been harder to start this thing lately. I don't know if you've noticed, but I have to manually start it. I think something's broken. That's okay. As I mentioned at the top of the stream, or actually when he was here and he told us that he is going to be streaming again today after a while. Old age will do that to you. So it's been about 2 weeks since Dragon Spirit has been able to stream because he got sick. Unlike TBD Gamer, he took a break. When TBD Gamer got sick, he took one stream break and then he started streaming again immediately after. Even though his entire, you could tell he was tired and a little under the weather, but he wanted to stream, and so he did. But anyway, did I give you a shout out, TBD Gamer? I hope I gave you a shout out because you deserve it. TBD Gamer is a .NET developer. He works on 2 projects on his stream as well. Mondays and Tuesdays, he works on one called Water Drink Water, which he only does on stream. He takes PRs. It's an open source project. It's a tracking application that, again, he's still trying to do in a professional manner where it feels like you are taking part of contributing to an open source project that is a for real project. But then on Wednesdays through Fridays, he streams another project that is a project management application used for geared towards developers. So think Azure DevOps, think the other one that I don't like to use, Jira, but specific to developers without all of the extra non-development stuff that goes into it. So more focused. So he does that Wednesday through Friday, some weekends. But anyway, that's it for me. Timer's counting down. Ciao for now. Copy of this is going to YouTube.